You know when you've done your makeup and then you look in the mirror and you just question like all of your life choices? Literally pink eyeshadow. Who do I think I am? Friggin' Gerard Way over it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all good. Today we're going to be answering loads of questions. Questions which have probably never run through your mind and that you've never thought to ask me, but somewhere out there, someone on the internet has thought to ask me. As another side note, if you'd like to get involved with the next Q&A video, why wouldn't you want to get involved with the next Q&A video? I usually ask for questions over on my Twitter and my Instagram, which are both at LucyJaneWood, so keep an eye out on there for the next one. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Let's go! Katie has asked, what's your favourite part of having a vlog? Especially you guys that seem to watch me, you are the most hilarious and funny and lovely people. But I also really love, I know I don't do it very often, but every so often I will make a video that is actually quite useful. Like my smear test video or my essentials for university video. Things like that where I'm actually contributing something useful to people's lives. And I always try to be the person that I was googling for a few years ago that didn't exist. I love the idea that someone might watch my video and it will either make their day or help them with something or make them feel better about something. Jenny says, if you could pick any members from any boy band, who would make it into your supergroup? I love this question. The first guy that pops into my head is obviously Justin Timberlake. Potentially the ultimate boy band alumni of all time. I'm also going to put Harry Styles in there because I feel like we need that X factor. You've got the X factor, it's a yes from me. Obviously, I also have to put Dougie Pointer in there because there's no love quite like my love for Dougie Pointer. Or maybe I'll just put the other three members of McFly in there also. Holly says, if you were only able to wear one shade of lipstick for the rest of your life, what would it be? You know what, it might actually be this one that I have on today. This is Charlotte Tilbury Glastonbury, which was a birthday present from my housemate Sarah. Mwah! It's definitely the most precious lipstick that I own. A, because it's from Sarah. B, because it's beautiful. I mean, look how pretty. Kate says, if you could only eat one food combo for the rest of your life, what would it be? Bread and olive oil? Cheese and Marmite? Question mark? I mean, it would be neither of those things. I think I might choose French stick, you know, like a fresh French baguette, and cheese. Is that the dullest combo of all time? Or I might just choose bread and like really great salty butter. This is making me really hungry. Julia asks, if you could go back in time and change one thing about your life, what would it be? I always go to say that I wouldn't do the first university course that I did. First of all, I went to art college thinking that I wanted to do illustration, that kind of thing. And I packed it in after about 4 or 5 months. Because of various circumstances, I was quite unhappy. But actually, that year where I moved from university in London back home, and took some time to think about what I wanted and what I wanted to do, and that realisation that I wanted to do English was actually massively important to me. And that year is like, I have some of the happiest memories of my friends back on the Wirral from that year, and I think I changed quite a lot as a person in that year. Making big mistakes like that at the time seems like an ultimate crisis and like things are never going to go your way, but actually they're really important learning curves, and a lot of the time they work out for the best. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, so I'm not sure that I would change anything. I mean, I probably would. I mean, I'm regretting this pink eyeshadow massively, so maybe the pink eyeshadow. Claire has asked, do you have advice/thoughts on starting a blog or getting your writing out there? I think the only advice that I have for that really is do it, Shia LaBeouf style. The solid advice that I would say about that is that if you want to do it, then absolutely 1,000,000% go for it. Sometimes you do just have the need to get your writing out there and see it out in front of you and get it all out of your head and onto paper or onto a keyboard. I'd say don't worry about other people finding it. Like, you can keep it to yourself if you want to. You're the one that's doing something productive and has a great hobby and is being creative and using your spare time to create amazing content. And they're the ones that are spending their time watching it and giving you the ad revenue and the clicks. So, Erin says, why are we not best friends? I mean, it's a good question. A name that I can't read because it's in Arabic, sorry. But they said, if you can be any fictional character in any fictional universe, which character and universe would you choose? 1,000,000% I'd choose the Wizarding World. I'd probably be Hermione because she's potentially my ultimate fictional character. I mean, I've got Gryffindor on my wall here. She meant a lot to me when I was growing up, and I related to her a lot. And she's still very precious to me. So I'd probably choose Hermione, but I would generally just quite like to be myself in the wizarding world. I'm not sure how J.K. Rowling would feel about having me there. Schmo says, I want to know how you found a decent boy in London. Did you uncover a nest of unspoiled boyfriend material? I definitely didn't find that. I just found one that's quite good. We actually met on Bumble, which is similar to Tinder, except the girl has to send the first message within the first 24 hours, I think. Otherwise they disappear forever and you can never find them again, which I quite liked because A, it kind of puts the power in your hands. Yeah, feminism. And it just stops like weird random people sending you dick pics. But yeah, we met on that and I kept him kind of like hanging around for about a month before I agreed to meet in real life, which I think is a good process for vetting people. But I do massively agree that even though London is like one of the busiest places in the world and there's so many people here and you'll very often walk past a fit guy, but like you're never just gonna like go up to someone that you see in a street and be like, oh hey, I fancy you, hubba hubba. So it is really hard to actually meet someone, especially if you use the words hubba hubba. So I do agree, it's very hard, and I take my hat off to you for sticking with it, because it's very hard. Kay has asked, tips for how to get a good job after you graduate from uni. I mean, is this the hardest question of all time? I'll try and think of like 3 bits of really good advice for this because I could be talking about this all afternoon really. Try and have a vague, specific idea of what it is you want to do, and the more you can hone in on that and make it as niche as possible, the better. You start off with a really broad idea and then you get narrower and narrower until you find something that you really want to do. Get as much work experience as you possibly physically can. And the third thing I would say, I'm not sure if this really counts, but don't get put off by rejection, because there will be a lot of it. It's no reflection on you, it's no reflection on how hard you're working or how much effort you're putting into it. A lot of the time it just has to be luck that's on your side as well, but the time will come, I promise. Alice has asked, what's your top tip for confidence in general? I am the wrong person to ask this question because I am not very confident. I feel like I've got better as I got older. When I was about 16, 17, 18, I had almost no confidence. As I've got older, I kind of realised that a lot of that was to do with the people that I was surrounding myself with. And I think a lot of the time when you're in a relationship that is detrimental to your confidence, you don't realise at the time until you're out of it. But because I was in a relationship where there was almost... It's kind of like an emotionally like neglectful relationship. Basically, I think it's important to surround yourself with people who make you feel good about yourself, and if you're not doing that, then that can be really damaging. So I'd say make sure your friends are all very supportive and are there to kind of bring you up and pull you up and congratulate you when you succeed and applaud your successes. And keep an eye out for people that should be doing that aren't, because I think that is very detrimental to your confidence and a lot of the time you won't even realise it, if that makes any sense. And also the other really important thing is to not compare yourself to anybody, because this is your journey and your life. But what's that thing that they all say? Don't compare yourself to someone else's highlights while yours is shit. I don't know. Tyler, my housemate Tyler, wanted to feature in this video. So his question is, what level are you on Pokemon Go? I am level 20. I'm taking it quite seriously. It's kind of overrun my life. Unfortunately, my best Pokemon is a Slowbro, which I'm not sure is the coolest Pokemon to have as your number 1. Dusty from work has asked, would you rather quit pizza or chocolate forever? And I mean, I'd rather quit neither of those things because they're my staple foods. But if I had to quit one, I would quit chocolate because pizza. Oh, pizza. I might have pizza for dinner now that I've thought about it. Georgie has asked, what is your guilty pleasure? There's a lot of things I could say for this because I think most people would consider the things I like to all be guilty pleasures. But I don't really rate that. I mean, if you like stuff, then you like stuff. There's no need to be ashamed. However, I will say that I do love crap telly. I love Geordie Shore, I love Ex on the Beach, I love Jersey Shore is like my favourite show of all time. Someone with the username How Cool Would It Be If I has asked, if someone wrote a fan fiction about you, would you want to read it? That would be potentially the most bizarre sensation of all time, but hell yes I would want to read it. I couldn't like know that was on the internet and not read it. Becky has asked, how did you get into journalism? There is a video on my channel from a long time ago where I did talk about getting into journalism and how to kind of get into it, but I've been thinking about doing an updated version and trying to be a bit more helpful about it, because I get asked so many questions about it, and I do feel like it's one of those career paths where it's quite niche and there's not a lot of really helpful info out there. If that is something that you would like to see and that you would be interested in watching, can you let me know in the comments, or give this video a thumbs up, or show me a sign so that I know that it won't be a flop. Thanks. Sarah has asked, what do you think Hannah is up to on PLL? I feel like when this video goes out there might have been another episode and we might have found out what she's up to, but if not, this is what I think. What I think is that I have no idea. This show confuses me so much. I never know what's going on. There's so many plot holes and plot humps and things that I just can't keep up with. I can never remember what happened in the last episode. I find it so difficult, and yet I'm obsessed. Charlotte has asked, Snog, marry, avoid Donald Trump, Voldemort and Draco Malfoy. Okay, so I'd probably snog Draco Malfoy because I definitely fancy him anyway. I'd marry Voldemort because he's very powerful and very charming, and yeah, he's a bit of a bad guy, but there's got to be some kind of misunderstanding going on here, and I feel like I could change him. And there's that scene in the last film where he hugs Draco, which probably means that he'd be a really great dad. And I would avoid Donald Trump because Jesus. Liv has asked, what were your best coping mechanisms post-breakup? Is time the ultimate healer? Had a similar situation, just wondering what worked best for you in finding happiness again. Time is definitely the ultimate healer. I fully agree with that. There are some days still where I wake up, even now, like 2 years on, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened? And I think it's important to not rush yourself for moving on, and don't beat yourself up for in 6 months time if you still feel like utter crap and you don't want to date again and you just feel awful and betrayed and hurt, because everybody progresses at different levels, and while someone might move on by getting under someone else, you might take 2 years and never want to see another guy ever again. Like, that's fine. My other advice, although it might not be so easy because time you kind of just let it run and things get better, but my other advice is change. Honestly, there was nothing that worked better for me than changing my life. This is another thing that I could do a video on. If you'd like to see that, also let me know. And let's finish on this one from Anchal. Where in the world would you like to travel next? The top of my list is Canada. I really want to go to Canada. It looks amazing. Everyone who goes always absolutely loves it. Canada is top of my list. Another thing that I really want to do is see the Northern Lights, so that is massively up near the top somewhere. And there's a lot of places in America I want to go to. I really want to go to Chicago, I really want to go to Boston, I really want to go back to LA and New York. Oh, so many places. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, then please do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe below. Thanks to everyone that sent questions in. There was bloody loads of you, and I wasn't expecting it because we haven't done one of these for ages, and I thought you might have all forgotten about me, so that was awesome. Thank you. I'm now going to go and order a pizza, thanks to that question about pizza, because it's all I've thought about while filming this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!